Well, hi everybody, it's Jeff Wettlaufer here again. And with me, as always, Brad Anderson, our CVP of System Center. Thanks for joining us again today, Brad. I missed the Halloween party. Maybe I'll get the invite for next year's. I'll watch the mail.
Yeah, this party thing is a theme you bring up every month.
Yeah, I can't get in.
Keep trying.
I'll keep trying. I'll keep it up. Okay, it's not a cloudy day in Seattle, but boy, the cloud is on the top of everyone's mind.
Yeah.
And we have had so much interest and enthusiasm and questions about what does the cloud mean to Microsoft. And I think we're uniquely positioned in this conversation as the System Center division of Microsoft. So I'd love to hear some of your perspective on how we think about the cloud, maybe the different ways we're envisioning the cloud structures.
Yeah.
And maybe if you could just give us an example of each one quickly, and then maybe in some future posts we can go into some more detail.
Sure.
So let's begin with breaking down what the cloud means for us.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to cover what the cloud means to Microsoft in 5 minutes or less.
Yeah.
But first of all, the thing I would say is, we talk about the cloud, maybe a better way to talk about it is the clouds, because there's actually multiple ways to consume and deploy services in the cloud. Yeah. The industry talks about private cloud and public cloud, and, can I have a private cloud that's running in somebody else's data center? And it can get a little bit confusing at times. But I think maybe a way that to talk about it that was certainly enlightening for me and clarifying for me was to talk about it in terms of the different ways that you can consume IT as a service.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's infrastructure as a service, IaaS.
Yep.
Platform as a service, PaaS,
Yep.
and then software as a service, or SaaS.
Yep.
So when I think about infrastructure as a service, this is what the majority of the industry talks about when they talk about private cloud.
Right.
Okay, and this is in fact what System Center and Windows Server and Hyper-V have been delivering for quite some time. And that could be running in your data centers as a customer. It could be running in a partner data center. And really, what it comes down to is you're pooling a set of compute, storage, and network capacity, and then you're able to take advantage of that and consolidate and actually build out these capabilities that make you very agile to deploy new solutions. Lots of great savings, lots of great agility, lots of great benefits. Mm-hmm. Platform as a service, that's Windows Azure and System Center.
We've heard that name. Yeah.
And Windows Azure can run in Microsoft's data center. It can run in a partner's data center or in a customer's data center with the Azure appliance that we announced in the summer at the Worldwide Partner Conference. Yeah, and the big difference there is it truly is an appliance, and Microsoft actually takes care of the feeding, securing, all the things that have to be done to the operating system, and all you as a customer or all you as a partner have to worry about is the application. And I'll come back and give some more examples of that in a minute.
We keep the lights on in there, and the application is responsibility is elsewhere, is really what
that
is.
And we'll go into more detail in just a couple of minutes. And then there's SaaS, or software as a service.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago we announced Office 365. We have Windows Intune in beta right now.
Intune, yeah.
Exchange Online, SharePoint Online.
Classic SaaS scenarios.
Correct, and that's where the solutions end-to-end are running inside of our data centers in these examples, and all the organization has to worry about is provisioning user accounts and those types of pieces. Super easy. But I think it's important to talk for just a couple of minutes about the difference between IaaS and PaaS, and then I think in future blogs we'll go into some more detail.
Yeah.
Now, to be clear, Microsoft believes very strongly that the destination long-term that we'll get to as an industry is PaaS. Okay,
Right.
and the reason we believe that is the characteristics of PaaS compared to IaaS are actually quite different. Okay, so for example, in IaaS, you have to take care of, provision the network, the storage, the virtual machine, the operating system, the application. In platform as a service, all you have to worry about is the app.
Right.
Everything else is taken care of for you. In infrastructure,
it's a big difference.
It is. In infrastructure as a service, there's some assembly required. Mm-hmm. And so, you as an organization, whether you are a partner or a customer, you get the hardware in, you get the operating system, the application, you put it all together, you make sure it's fine-tuned and optimized, all those pieces. Mm-hmm. In platform as a service, that's all done for you. And again, all you have to do is worry about the application. Mm-hmm. In an IaaS world, when updates come out, you have to test, you have to actually do the change, go through all the workflow, re-provision, redeploy, all those types of pieces.
Big SLAs and OLAs involved there.
Yeah, we always have SLAs and those types of pieces, but in an infrastructure as a service world, you have to do all the work to actually go through that process to update the operating system. In platform as a service, that's all done for you. I mean, there's this reoccurring theme of all you have to think about is the app. And then there's a couple of other pieces, things like in platform as a service, everything is standardized. It's all very standardized hardware. And organizations do their best to try to have a standardized set of components and hardware and solutions inside of their data centers, but there's There's always differences, and it's very challenging to do that.
Yeah.
Two other pieces that I think are interesting. In an infrastructure as a service world, basically you provision that application to its peak capacity, whether that's, end of quarter, that might be, the holiday season, if you're a retailer, if you're like a tax organization, that's April in the United States. Yep. And so you have to, over provision, you provision what the max, the max usage would be. In platform as a service, capacity is just added on demand. Yeah. And so you just deploy the application, and as more capacity is needed, it's automatically added, and when you can diminish the amount of capacity, it's automatically taken away. And then the final piece is, in infrastructure as a service, you basically build out that hardware, that application, not to fail. And you do everything you can to try and prevent failure. Yeah. In platform as a service, failure is anticipated. It's expected. We know that problems happen. Yeah. Hardware goes out for, there's a lot of different things. But the app is inherently able to understand and able to react and maintain its SLA and stay on in a platform as a service because the application is built and it understands that there are going to be failures. And so instead of trying to prevent failure, the application inherently understands what failure means and how to react from that. So you take that summary and and the cost and the agility and the overhead and everything that you have to worry about and the things that you have to do as an organization in platform as a service is dramatically less than what it is in infrastructure as a service. And that's why we think long term the industry is going to head towards platform as a service. Now the reality is customers are going to be in a hybrid model for as far as I can see into the future. Yeah. They'll have some physical servers. They're going to have infrastructure as a service. Yeah.
This is a journey.
That can be in their data centers, in their partner data centers.
It's not a light switch.
Platform as a service, software as a service. And that's one of the pieces where System Center just becomes such a critical component because you want one way to oversee, to manage, to monitor, ensure that all of the services that are being delivered to your users or to your partners or customers are all doing what they're supposed to do. And System Center actually gives you that cohesive view across all the different kinds of services you need.
Physical, the virtual, the app layer.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. It's one view. Well, that's great, Brad. Thank you for that. That's been a great summary. As we go through this journey to the cloud, I think each of these topics is going to merit a bit more detail from us. So hopefully with Brad inviting us back here, we'll have a chance to talk a little bit more in detail about what infrastructure, platform, and software as a service really mean. Thanks for your time. For more information, please visit Microsoft.com/cloud, and we'll see you again soon.